Something just happened between America and Canada that most people are completely missing. And if you don't understand what's going on right now, you're going to wake up one day wondering why everything costs more, why your job disappeared, or why the world suddenly looks completely different. This isn't a theory. This isn't speculation. This is happening right now, and the clock is ticking. Picture this. You're neighbors with someone for 80 years. You share a backyard fence. You borrow each other's tools. Your kids play together. You help each other out in emergencies. Then one day that neighbor walks over, looks you straight in the eye, and calls you a national security threat. That's exactly what just happened between the United States and Canada. Donald Trump didn't just impose tariffs on Canadian goods. He declared Canada, the country that's been America's closest ally for generations, a danger to American security. 25% tariffs on almost everything coming from Canada. 10% on energy. These aren't small numbers. This is economic warfare. Now, here's where most people stop paying attention because tariffs sound boring. But let me translate what this actually means for you. If you live in Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, or anywhere near the Canadian border, your economy runs on trade with Canada. The cars you build, the parts in those cars, the energy that heats your home in winter, all of it crosses that border every single day. Those tariffs? They're attacks on that entire system. And when that system breaks, jobs vanish. Companies move. Communities collapse. This isn't about politics. This is about your livelihood. But here's what makes this story absolutely fascinating. Canada didn't fold. Most people expected them to panic, to beg, to negotiate desperately. Instead, Mark Carney, Canada's new Prime Minister, did something nobody saw coming. He's not a typical politician. This is a guy who ran the Bank of England. He understands money, power, and leverage better than almost anyone on the planet. And his response to Trump's tariffs was ice cold. Carney looked at what Trump did and essentially said, "Fine, if that's how we're playing this game, let's play." Canada announced their own 25% tariffs on American goods. Not just any goods, strategic goods. Things America actually needs from Canada. Steel, aluminum, automobiles. And here's the brilliant part, Carney didn't stop there. He launched something called the Buy Canadian policy. Basically, Canada is now actively encouraging Canadians to stop buying American products and switch to Canadian alternatives. Think about that. Canada is cutting off American businesses from one of their biggest markets. But it gets deeper. Trump justified these tariffs by claiming Canada is letting fentanyl and illegal immigrants pour across the border. Here's the reality. 98% of fentanyl entering America comes from Mexico, not Canada. Less than 1% comes from the Canadian border. This isn't about security. This is about leverage. This is about Trump trying to force Canada into submission. And Carney knows it. So what's actually happening behind the scenes? Carney is making moves that could fundamentally change how North America works. He's negotiating with other countries. He's diversifying Canada's economy away from dependence on the United States. He even went to China and made a deal to reduce some tariffs that had been hurting Canadian farmers and industries. When Trump threatened a 100% tariff over that China deal, Carney calmly explained that Canada wasn't signing a free trade agreement, just fixing specific problems. He's not panicking, he's planning. And this is where Americans need to wake up. Because while Trump thinks he's being tough, what's actually happening is that America is losing credibility. Canada isn't some random country. This is our neighbor, our ally. The country that took in stranded American planes on September 11th. The country that fights alongside American soldiers. When you treat your closest friend like an enemy, everyone else in the world takes notes. If America will do this to Canada, they'll do it to anyone. The economic consequences are already showing up. Stock markets are reacting. Companies are nervous. 6 Republican congressmen just voted against Trump's Canadian tariffs, joining Democrats in a rare rebuke. That almost never happens. Even Trump's own party is starting to realize this might be a massive mistake. Because here's what most people don't understand. Modern economies are connected. You can't just rip apart an 80-year relationship and expect everything to be fine. American factories use Canadian parts. Canadian energy keeps American homes warm. When you break that system, both sides bleed. Carney understands this, and he's betting that America will blink first. He's positioned Canada to survive without America if necessary, while making it clear that America needs Canada just as much. It's a high-stakes chess match, and Carney is playing it brilliantly. Meanwhile, Trump is doing what he always does. Doubling down, threatening more tariffs, posting angry messages on social media. But threats don't win economic wars. Strategy does. So where does this end? Two possibilities. Either cooler heads prevail, American businesses pressure Washington to back down, and some kind of deal gets made that lets both sides save face. Or this spirals. More tariffs, more retaliation, a complete fracturing of the North American economy. And if that happens, everyone loses. Your prices go up. Jobs disappear. The entire global trading system that's kept things relatively stable for decades starts to crack. The scariest part? Most Americans have no idea this is even happening. They're going about their daily lives while the economic ground shifts beneath their feet. By the time they notice, it might be too late. This is why you need to pay attention. This is why this matters. Because when two countries that share the longest undefended border in the world start treating each other like enemies, the consequences ripple everywhere. And those ripples are heading straight for your wallet, your job, and your future.